Today, I'm sharing my personal top 8 knitting patterns for you to cast on this spring. I have 3 sweaters, 3 short sleeve tops, and 2 accessories to share with you today that I think you're absolutely going to love. If you're new here, hi, my name's Jacque, and this is Jacqueismaking, a place where I share all about the knitting and the sewing that I'm doing to create more sustainable fashion and home decor for my house. To start off today, I have the Ballerina Romance sweater by Cumulus Tee. This is a really beautiful, ethereal and light, very romantic, I think ballerina is the perfect name for it, wrap sweater. So I believe it's not a traditional wrap in that it doesn't have an actual belt or wrap element to it, but it just has the look and feel of a wrap. It has these beautiful cables on the sleeves and lace work on the sleeves, and then the middle of it is just plain stockinette. What makes it really unique though is the edging has that little scalloped design. So the only thing with this pattern is you will need to know how to crochet to make this scalloped edging. I think if you wanted to, you could always alter it and do just an I-cord edging or a different edging if you were not comfortable with crochet. But I think if you are, or if you're willing to learn, it looks so beautiful to have that scalloped edge. And if you're familiar with crochet, you know to do those scallops, you kind of do a bunch of stitches into one stitch. So it almost makes like a little fan into one stitch. And then if you keep doing that, it'll make that beautiful scalloped edge. And I just think this pattern in general looks so similar to the beautiful Cezanne sweaters. So if you're familiar with that brand, it's like this French brand that has a very Parisian look and feel, but they're very known for their sweaters. And they have a couple of sweaters in particular that have a lot of lace work and scalloped edges. So I almost wonder if this designer was inspired by those, but I definitely could see this paired over a dress, but I also think it would be kind of fun to juxtapose it with a light wash pair of denim with rips in it, have a really romantic top paired with those ripped jeans. And yeah, I just think it's so beautiful. I especially really like it in this light peach color. I know there's a couple of brands that have some light peach mohair, and I just think it would be so beautiful, especially in spring as you're getting outside more, you have more of a tan. Yeah, I love it in this color. I'm so glad she chose it for her pictures. So yeah, that's the Ballerina Romance sweater. It just looks absolutely beautiful, and to me, it very much embodies spring. So next I actually have for you another wrap, though it's very different than the last one. So the last one, remember I said it was almost a mock wrap where it didn't have the strap. This one that I'm showing you now actually has a belted feature, and it's more of a true wrap. So this is the Theodore Wrap by Johanna Garish, and this is made using a fingering weight plus a lace weight. So the last one was 2 strands of mohair, and then this one now is fingering plus lace weight. And it's made on a little bit of a bigger gauge. This is made using US 8 or 5mm needles. And this one is different as well in that there is no crochet element to this, although it still has a really pretty edging. So if you're not comfortable with crochet, I would steer you in this direction if you still really love that wrap look, because that edging is just done more in a lace motif, and you don't need to know how to crochet to do that. And then this is also kind of cool as well. She's also wearing it with the back and the front too. So they're both that reversible kind of style. In her photo, she has herself casting on that lace work first. So I'm not sure exactly if she's making that separately or if she's just doing it at different stages, but it looks like maybe that's what she's doing to begin with. It's funny because I actually really love this one in the color that she picked out as well. I think it's very springy, which is probably what drew my eye to it. But I think this looks so pretty, yeah, in this corally pink. I also think it would be so beautiful in a lavender color if I had to choose. This one, especially with that wrap feature, makes me feel like if you're going to a wedding and you need a cover up over a really fancy dress, I think this would be a really fun option. Next for you, I have the Cumulus Blouse by Petite Knit. And this one in particular, if you were to say to me just the word spring knit, this is what I would think of. This pattern in particular, it looks so classic to me. I love that it's a v-neck, but it's a little bit different in that the v-neck is kind of curved, and it doesn't go down super low, so it's a little bit more modest in that way. This is made using 2 pieces of lace weight yarn. Again, she uses 2 pieces of mohair. And actually, if you caught my last podcast episode, you would see I've already swatched to make this. So if you're curious to see what colors I picked out, go watch my last podcast episode. But yeah, this is worked top down in the round. It's a raglan increases. You're using a US 7 or 4.5 millimeter needles. And this is just very classic, like all stockinette throughout the whole thing. I think why so many people are drawn to this is just because it's like a pretty quick and easy knit with using those 7 needles. And then it's just top down in the round raglan. It looks like there's about 7,800 projects on Ravelry, and I know there's even more people posting on Instagram. So this is something, if you have some mohair in your stash you've been dying to use, I think this is a really great pattern. I know this one uses a pretty low amount of yardage as well, so if you have some mohair in your stash, maybe you can use part of it and pair it with another color to create a kind of marled look. I think that would be so beautiful. But yeah, this one in particular, I love this color that she chose for her main photos, but I also think it would be so beautiful in like a really light pink for spring, or even an orangey color. I guess I just talked about peaches and pinks. Yeah, all the pastel colors I'm so excited about for spring. Next, getting into some t-shirts, I have the Shona top by Irene Lynn. Irene is just becoming like one of my favorite designers. I think she's so talented and she really thinks outside the box. And I feel like she has a really good gauge on like mixing what's trendy with really classic designs. So for instance, this design, like the shape of it looks very trendy, how it's a little bit boxy, but the design of it with this like lace work and the scalloped edge looks very classic and timeless to me as well. So this is another one that has that scalloped edge that's crocheted. It's actually not scalloped. I think it's like, she's calling them bobbles on the ends. But yeah, you can kind of see my vision here with spring is just, it's that very romantic, these little details that make something more special for spring. I love that she does the lace work on the bottom half of the body of this and then also includes it on the sleeve. This pattern's unique in that you can either put a set-in sleeve into that, or she has it worked into the pattern to just do a tank top design if that's what you prefer. In her pattern, she used the DK weight linen yarn. So I think she's suggesting that you use a type of summer fabric for this particular design. And then she also used a US 6 4mm needle. And let's see, I think this is worked. Yeah, you knit the back from top to the base of the armholes. Then you're going to knit some of the front and you're going to eventually get into the round. And I like she mentions here, first you're going to complete that sleeveless top, and then at that point you can decide if you want sleeves or not. So I like that she includes that for you to kind of try it on, see if you want sleeves or if you don't, and then choose from there. I also love in her picture, she included one design that has like a contrast color for the actual bobbles. I think that looks really cute. I would say though, for this one, I would probably pick a more neutral colored yarn just because with those like bobbles and that lace work, I just think it stands out so beautifully in a more neutral color. So I love the idea of using this sort of creamy color for this knit. Okay, I'm so sorry. My battery actually died, so if I change positions or whatever, that's why. And to kind of contrast that pattern with the next one I'm going to show you, kind of hilarious because it's like the sister pattern to one of the sweaters I talked about. But next I wanted to bring up the Cumulus Tee. So this is like the tee version of the Cumulus sweater that I showed you. But I thought it was worthwhile to bring up because it's quite different just in like the material of it. So that other one was made with 2 strands of mohair held together. But this pattern in particular is made with knitting for olive pure silk. I think a lot of people will use like cotton or linen blend yarns for this as well. But yeah, it's just one strand of yarn, and then it's typically in like a summer weight type of yarn. So the overall look is just so different than that last pattern, which is why I felt comfortable featuring it in this video. And this again just like looks so springy to me. It looks really transitional. I love the way that Petite Knit pairs it like just with a simple pair of dark denim. But again, this would also look so beautiful over dresses, with skirts, again, with one of those like printed pants I was talking about. And this is made with, let's see, 3mm needles. And I believe, yeah, the edging is I-cord again. Yes. And so it's top down in the round, just like a seamless piece. And it's honestly just like a bunch of stockinette. So this is something that I think is just like a staple, a classic. Like everyone in their wardrobe needs like that classic white tee. And so I think this is just something that would be very practical. I personally would make this in a light color. I think the white or a cream is perfect for this. You could just, yeah, pair it with so many different things, and it would just be a complete wardrobe staple. I also do like, she knit her sleeves a little bit longer in this, and I think that is something I would do. I think it makes it just like a little bit more elevated. It looks like very expensive with that little bit of a longer sleeve. But if you didn't like that, you could definitely shorten it or make it as short as you wanted it to be. And then lastly for t-shirts, I have the Umbria Summer top by Cookie the Knitter. And I was inspired by this one. I had a couple of friends mention this to me. I also saw it like very heavily in my searches. And for me, I love this because a lot of times when we go into spring, we don't have a ton of like dressier tops. Like once weather starts warming up, at least for me, I know I have a lot of like cotton t-shirts or yeah, just things that like tend to lean more casual. And so I love the idea of this one because it looks very similar to this linen camp shirt I sewed last year. And to me, this is like the knit version of that, where yeah, it just looks like more elevated version of a t-shirt. So I think this is so beautiful. It's made, this one again, actually she recommends the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk again, which is 100% silk yarn if you're unfamiliar. It's in a fingering weight, and this is knit with 3.5mm needles and then 3mm on the edging. This is, let's see, top down in the round. This is actually a raglan sleeve as well. And then it's ribbed. So not exactly sure how the ribbing is worked. Let's see. I think the yoke is worked. I think you're working the neckband, then you're probably doing short rows, then working the front, and then joining all in the round. And I'm not sure exactly how the ribbing is done, but it looks really, really beautiful. I love how like the little collar just kind of like floats open. It looks kind of, yeah, just like romantic again, but very summery. I think her first picture too, like how she's just pairing it with linen pants, looks so perfect for like the transition from spring to summer. It's just so cute. So yeah, those are all of the garment patterns that I wanted to share with you. And then I just have a couple of accessories that I thought were really cute. So one is the Theodore Scrunchie. And this I just thought was like such a fun way to use some bright and pretty yarns and make yourself some like hair accessories for spring. So as weather is warming up, you know, you want to like throw your hair up, or even like she's like wearing it on her wrists in this picture. It looks so cute. I also thought this would be a really cute gift knit if you have anybody you know that has like a spring birthday. And it's designed for any gauge. So you can literally use like any of your bright yarns you have in your stash and create something with this. So this is the Soho Scrunchie by Tori Yu. looks like it's in the round pattern. You're going to use Kitchener stitch to like bring it together. Let's see. She says this is a great way to practice provisional cast on and the Kitchener stick techniques before attempting them on a bigger project. So that's kind of cool as well. And she has some dimensions for fingering, sport weight, like sport/DK, worsted weight, and then bulky weight. And yeah, this looks like something that would work up super fast. I love, like, she has examples of like some bigger ones and then some smaller ones. So yeah, I think, okay, yeah, she has mini version, a medium, and a jumbo. So again, I think this is something that would just be like really fast. It would like increase your knitting mojo and would just be like getting you in the mood for spring colors and spring knitting. So that was my first accessory. Now, for my second spring accessory, I actually was really inspired by this because I have been so cold at work. I think that the air conditioning has been turned on with some of these warmer days, or if we're just getting airflow. I don't know what's happening, but I just know, like, as I start wearing some warmer weather to work and that air conditioning turns on, all of a sudden I'm really cold. And so I had this idea of, like, you know, I've never made a shawl before. What would it look like to make a shawl that I could just leave at work and have be like my work shawl for when I get cold? And so I found the Feel Good Shawl by Andrea Mowry. I know that she's super popular for her shawls, so I kind of had some fun and I was just like looking through all of her different patterns. If you've never looked through her stuff, she has, I mean, like every shawl you could ever think of, any yarn weight you're looking for, any design, honestly. And so I was looking for something that was either going to be like a fingering or a DK weight, because I wanted it to be warm, but I didn't want it to be like too heavy. Like, I didn't want it to feel like a fall winter shawl. I definitely still wanted it to feel like springy, summery. And maybe I'll make myself like a winter one once we get there. But this shawl in particular intrigued me because, first of all, it has like those spring colors. So then I clicked within it and I saw she used the Wandering Flocks Merino DK, which, if you're familiar with their yarns, they have like the most beautiful like pastel neon colors. And then I saw Tori Yu made one that I'll put up the picture here. And if I can get yarn that's just like the ones Tori Yu made, oh my goodness, like that is just like, it's such a happy looking shawl. It just looks so happy and so beautiful. And I've also never done brioche, so a lot of the stitches through this are brioche, 2-color brioche, using 4mm needles. And so yeah, I liked the idea of this being a challenge, being that I've never done brioche. I love the idea of making it in those like spring happy colors. And then yeah, just the idea that it's in DK. It would like kind of fit to wrap around my whole body, hopefully. I might need to like measure it and see if that's something that would comfortably fit around myself. But yeah, this one I think would just be like so beautiful. If any of you guys are like me and you get a little bit colder when you're inside during the spring months, I think it'd be something really fun to cast on. So I hope you guys were as excited as I was going through all of these spring knitting patterns. If you have anything that's like 100% your favorite on your list that you can't get out of your mind, you're so excited about, I'd love to see it. Please share the link with us down below. Tell us what you're excited about, what colors you're into this spring. Also, is there any like garments that you're really excited to purchase that you want to pair stuff with? That's something I'm kind of interested in as well, is thinking a little bit more like holistically about my wardrobe when I'm picking out these things. Like, is there something that's trending or something that's missing from my wardrobe that I'm really excited about? Like, for instance, if I make a pair of linen pants, like what's a knit that's gonna go really well with those linen pants? Or if I buy a new pair of tennis shoes, what's something that will go with those tennis shoes? And that sort of thing. So that's something I'm gonna be exploring a little bit more with you guys and thinking through as I'm making content. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, sitting here and watching. I'm always so grateful for any minute that you spend with me. If you're not already, please subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out and helps as I grow and as I continue to make content for you guys that you enjoy. So next week I'll have for you a new podcast episode where I update you on where I'm at with my Lana vest and my banana sweater that I'm making. I can't wait to talk with you next time. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.